Hello, this is Mark Webb here again for Webb's of Weybridge. This morning we're going to be showing you our Jaguar XK150 and showing you just a couple of tips on driving her and the controls and putting the roof up and down. So our Jaguar XK150 is the 3.4 straight 6 petrol engine, manual with overdrive from 1958. So it's very pretty, obviously, as you can see. Convertible. It's got the tonneau cover on at the moment, and it is a 2+2 again, so it's got some very small seats in the back, but we have made them work for short trips on occasion. So these videos are specifically designed for people that haven't really got the time to have a good look around the car prior to a hire, often weddings or birthday surprises, things like that. And obviously you can use these as a reference to come back to time and time again if you do need to remind yourself of the controls, how to put the roof up and down. Also for nowadays social distancing, we need to make sure that you guys can have a good look at the car without being around too many of our staff. So with this Classic we have a set of keys. There are 3 keys here. The first one to note is the petrol cap, which is the copper key. So you just pop that in there and you just give it a slight turn and that will release the petrol cap. Nice and easy. And just be very gentle with that as it's obviously an old car. So second key we've got is the round key, which when you put into the door, you insert it in here, you do one turn and that unlocks the car. And then the third key, as we come inside into the dash here, you can see the key is on this side, and we've got the newest key, which is a square key, and that goes in to there and one turn to bring the fuel up, and you'll see the ignition light come on. Working across the dash then, we've got some controls here. We've got the wipers, which are twist, and you twist those to get them to work and they self-settle. We've got the petrol here, obviously, speedo, got the amps, we've got the all-important water, temperature. Just make sure that that looks after itself again. If it does come up past 90, pull over and give it a rest. However, all our cars are pretty good. It's just looking out for traffic and heavy use in sort of London and things like that. You might want to just keep an eye on this. Otherwise, don't worry too much about it. Just be aware that that is part of driving a Classic. You need to keep an eye on the temperature. Coming down to the key, we turn the key to start the car. Make sure she's in neutral. This is an unusual sort of shaped gear stick, but just make sure she's in neutral. And you hold down the start button and give her a little rev, and she'll fire up. Now in the mornings, this one's got an electric choke. You look under here, we've got a switch here with a white nipple. You pull that out, that'll be the choke, like this. Choke is on. Once it's warmed up, choke off. Okay. Also on here we've got the lights here. This is for the headlights. You have got the indicator switch traditionally, and then right in the corner here is, if you can see this, it's the overdrive. So again, I've explained this in the other videos. When it's out, you can drive the car normally. Overdrive is basically like a 5th gear. It extends 3rd and 4th gear generally. Once you're in 3rd gear, driving along, flip the switch over to in, and that'll drop down into a second sort of ratio of gears and extend the drive. So it's good for A roads and motorways. You can change gear with that on, and just make sure you turn it off as you go back onto the B roads. One thing to note about the lights: once you've got the lights on to side, S for side, H for headlights, F for fog, so you want H for headlight. The main beam, dip beam switch is this chrome switch here. It's to the left of the clutch. You press it once with your foot, click it down, and it switches between dip beam and full beam. Click it again to return. The handbrake on this Classic is the opposite to a normal handbrake. So to operate, to release the handbrake, you don't press the button. You simply lift and drop, and that is the car moving. You can see we're moving now. To put it on, you pull it up, you hold the button down, and just give it a little nudge down, and that'll engage it'll lock the handbrake in place. So it's the opposite. To release, lift, drop. Lift, drop. Okay, looking at the gears on this one, obviously you can see that it's angled slightly. Don't let that put you off. It just takes a bit of getting used to. It's not too tricky. We've got first gear, which is slightly left and up. You saw it almost comes flat to the floor, straight back for second, and then back to neutral, and across for third and fourth. Reverse, it's all marked on top. Reverse, just give it a knock, and right over there, and you'll hear sort of a different crunch sound as it goes in. This has not got synchro mesh on first gear, so when you, to get into first gear, basically come to a complete stop before you go back into first gear. If you don't come to a complete stop and you try and engage first gear whilst it's still rolling, make a horrible crunching sound and you can mess the car up. So just golden rule for most classics is come to a stop before you put into first gear. So at the moment we've got the tonneau cover on. Just to remove this, make sure that you pull these little knobs here. They're on a little bit of elastic, and then you've got the poppers here, which do just pop off. Once you've got them all popped off, remove that, and I'll show you the roof. Right, we've got the cover off the roof. Very easy, this one. Just lift it from the centre if you can, all the way over. You can do it with one hand, and it's very easy to put up. I'll just show you the clips on the inside. Inside the car, we've got these clips here, and just make sure that this one goes over this here, and then we clamp it down by moving this lever back. So I'm going to do that with two hands, and you do the other side as well, and that is the roof on. Again, she looks very pretty with the roof up, on or off. She stays nice and dry if it is raining, and it is nice and warm in there as well. Last thing to do is just to pop these poppers on here, and they go onto these nipple bits here, and then to remove them, just to make sure you pull on the nipple. They're on a little bit of elastic, or a spring even. And there she is. Right, so I've showed you the controls of the XK150 and how to put the roof up and down. Just when you get into the car, when you're first on the road, make sure you take your time to give yourself twice as much distance between you and the car in front. Obviously the brakes aren't like modern cars. Watch the gear changes, go nice and easy between the gears, and obviously just take your time easing into her on the open roads and around traffic.